Good morning. Thank you guys so much for joining me for Win the Day. The entire point of this podcast is for you guys to remember every single day matters, every single day counts. I'm Tanika D'Souza, the 100K Challenge Chick. I'm here to empower women entrepreneurs to break the 100K income ceiling. I was talking to someone yesterday and they were just like, why did you choose to go on mission to help people make $100,000? And the way that it kind of flowed into our conversation really denoted that she didn't think a lot of people could reach that $100,000 mark. She thought that it was a really unattainable goal. And so for me to be on mission for that was kind of me just pie in the sky saying something inspirational, but not really something that I thought was possible. And I told her, I was like, I didn't come from a family of entrepreneurs, so I didn't know a lot going into business. But my husband is fourth generation, right? And nobody told me that I couldn't. So I never aimed low in my business. I never knew only 18% of women entrepreneurs make less than $100,000. So I made more than that. and it was in that conversation that I realized that there was a kind of, I didn't have to unlearn some truths about business. I didn't have to unlearn the struggle that people anticipate entrepreneurship to be. And that is a lot of the reason why I am a business coach now, because I realize so many of us have a lot of things that over the years, right? You wanted to do this thing. You've been aspiring to do it. You've talked about it. Everybody understands your potential to get this thing done, right? Oops. Everybody understands your potential, but now that it's time to actually put some energy behind all these things that you've dreamed of doing, then we're so full of fear. So I didn't have that coming in. I'm not going to at all pretend like it was easy. I just didn't have the income barrier. I didn't have the income mentality that this wasn't going to work. This wasn't going to be financially profitable. I had to deal with the normal fears of like, am I capable to do this? Like, can I get this done? Is my idea actually something that can turn into business income? So I really want to help more people unlearn some of the things that we have been taught or that we assume about business and about entrepreneurship. And that's why as a business coach, I really, really focus on these three things, you guys. You'll hear me say it over and over again because I believe them to be true, is that you really have to customize your entrepreneurial experience. You need to absolutely consider your audience. What do they need from you? What result are you trying to get for them? And how are you being the solution? Like, that's number one. If you're not a solution for anything, then no one is going to be paying attention. Number two, what are your strengths? How are you going to build this business to play to your strengths? And it's funny because as I work with my own coaching clients for business, they tell me all the time, all the things that I do that they don't think they can do. And I never asked them to do what I'm doing. We are here to figure out what it is they can do. So sometimes some of them come to me and they're like, I don't know that I can just go live. I don't know that I can do this. But we really do explore and figure out what's going to work for them. And then third, what's going to work with your lifestyle. What worked for me 10 years ago and where I was successful 10 years ago is not the same lifestyle that I want right now. My kids are getting older. My oldest is about to graduate college. I'm so proud of her, and she will likely be living in a much further city. My son is at the end of high school looking to play college sports, and my youngest daughter is just about to go to high school. So their lives are becoming more active, and I want to be there. I want to be involved. I want to have my hands in the stuff that they're doing. And so my business needs to allow me to do that. So I'm striving for a work from anywhere lifestyle. So I would love for you guys to share how you're doing that and growing your businesses. And if you just want to be along for the ride to see how I pull it off, I will absolutely be sharing that with you guys. But figuring out how your business is going to fit your lifestyle is so important, because ultimately, if you don't do that, you will eventually choose. You're going to choose your life, which you a lot of times can't change. I can't change that my kids are growing up and doing 80,000 things, right? But what ends up happening is they feel like this business is taking so much of my time that I don't have time for my life and my lifestyle. And they choose between the two. Instead of adjusting business to fit your lifestyle, they feel like they're back up against the wall and they have to make a decision. So that's where I come in. I coach people through that, and to really make business personal, make business fit your life, and ultimately help you stay focused on the fact that you are a solution for somebody else. This is not just you making 100K. This is not just you having your biggest wins for yourself, but what solution are you bringing to the world? Like, how are you helping? How are you impacting others? How are you influencing others so that we are making like bigger change? So if you keep those things in mind, then typically you're going to be headed to success. However, today's topic that I'm bringing up is the biggest attitude adjustment that new entrepreneurs have to make. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I do really appreciate you guys being here. And if you're live with me on Facebook, good morning, welcome. Send me a message. Let me know where you are joining me from. And for all of you who are on the podcast, you can find the 100K Challenge Chick podcast anywhere that you listen to podcasts. And those of you who are on the YouTube channel, which I think is just titled my name, Tanika D'Souza, welcome. So we're talking about the biggest attitude adjustment for new to business. So I kind of gave my premise story because these are the types of conversations I have all the time, right? Why do you do this? Why do you think people can make $100,000? Well, the other side of that is when you say, yes, I'm ready to do this. You know, I'm tired of talking about all the things I could do. I'm tired of having potential. I'm tired of having a really great story about my business. And I want this to actually be real. And now they're ready. They come to me. They ready to get some business coaching. They want to learn from someone who's already done this. So I'm like, great, let's go. Here's the one thing that new to business will do every single time. And it takes a little while for me to, I'm going to say, break them of doing this because it's so natural to do. And what is that? And for most of us who have been in business for a while, we had to break ourselves of doing this. And this is what I'm going to say gives us competitive advantage, right? As experienced entrepreneurs. So clearly a big difference between someone who's new to business and an entrepreneur is time and experience, right? I've done certain things over a long period of time. I have more experience doing it. So when you watch me do something, it's not the same as you doing it as someone new, right? It's not the same because I have already kind of overcome my learning curve. And that kind of triggers on the very thing that we're talking about today. The biggest attitude for new entrepreneurs is the fact that you really have to embrace that business is more of a marathon. This is not a simple race, and this is not a sprint. And so if you're listening to this, you could say, duh, like I know that, but that's not what you do in practice. And I know for sure because people hire me as a business coach. They're in my group coaching. We are in accountability groups. And even some of my peers who are a little less experienced than I am, the way this plays out is you decide, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a course, and I'm going to sell this course. It's going to be like my signature course, right? And then you go about creating that content and then letting the world know that you made it. In general, there's nothing wrong with that, except you skip like 80,000 points. And that's kind of what I mean about the attitude adjustment for people who are new to business. If I am creating a signature course, and this is exactly how I did it in my business coaching, I first decided, what is it that I want to teach? What is it that are like my core values of my business? What type of solution do I want to be? And then I got clients just one-on-one so that I can start to use these theories and make sure that they aren't missing very major things, because I know what I did to be successful in business, but is that the same when I teach it to someone else? How can I universalize my lessons so that people can use them? So I go about that journey. So I did one-on-one coaching. I kind of solidified so much, right? Because initially I wanted to just teach you how to monetize and systemize your business. And ultimately that is at the heart of what I do. However, I realized what people were missing is understanding that they could customize their business and that they actually had options. So I just take a step back, because I realized when I jumped into monetize, systemize, people were like, what? And they hadn't done a lot of the groundwork to even do that efficiently. So I realized that and put in my signature program, which is my group coaching. It's called the 100K Accelerator. What I put in there is, first we talk about your signature brand identity. Then we talk about how you're going to make money that fits your strengths, fits your lifestyle. And then finally, we create actual offers so that you can sell, so that you're keeping your audience and the solution that you are at the forefront of what you do, and that you learn how to communicate in order to make a sale. It's not enough to just say, I have a course, let me go introduce it to the world, because you skipped all the way to the end and you didn't recognize that there were so many other things that you should have filled in first, so that you knew what you were bringing to market was a product that you can stand firm on, that you can promote, that you can sell, and that's actually going to get results for someone. So that is kind of the bigger thing. You didn't recognize that this was a marathon. You didn't recognize that you should say, I'm going to create this course. It's going to be awesome. What should I do first in order to solidify this content? Now, what I will tell you is not everybody needs that. Maybe you're teaching a course that's based on something you know, like a specific skill. So you don't need to do a lot of market research. You don't need to do any of that. But the challenge might be, if you jump all the way to just create it and then say, hey, world, it's here, then did you do the steps necessary to build an audience? Do people even understand that this is what you do? Do they even trust you to help them get that result or that solution? So typically, there is going to be a process before you release a product or service to the world, right? And if you implement in steps like one-on-one coaching or teaching to smaller groups before you teach to hundreds, then you can work out the kinks. You can get things formulated, get them right. You guys have all heard of like beta programs and pilot groups and things like that. That is the reason you do it. So that when you actually go to market and launch this product, not only have you proven to yourself that it's going to get results, you have the testimonies, you have people who have used it, you understand exactly what it's going to do, what it looks like, and then you are able to speak that language to the person who really needs this course, versus you just spending a lot of time on your computer and then lifting your head up, going to social media and creating a Instagram post or a Facebook post. So the thing is, this is a marathon, okay? There's no way that you can avoid figuring it out. Now, if you just want to go out there and launch something, because people do it all the time, then you will figure out a lot of things, but just as you're being a lot more public. Most of you have no clue how I do a lot of the things I do, and that's because my business is smaller at this point, this business coaching, and I invite a lot of people. You have to have taken a few steps to say that you're interested in learning from me, and then you can hear about the 100K Accelerator and my membership platform that's about to launch, because I wasn't ready to just throw it out there to the whole wide world. And you know what? I'm okay with that, because I know when I do, my membership group will already be populated with about 75 to 100 people before the general public even knows about it, because I know there's a lot of things that I need to figure out. And I am in this for the long run. I'm in this for you guys to reach your 100K in business. So I can't be a slouch at what I offer you. I can't guess at this process. I need to know that this works, not just for me, but that it works for you, because I've seen it work for several others. So at this point, I'm building tons of testimonials. People are doing great. The thing that I love the most is when that new entrepreneur realizes, oh, I actually have to do the work. And they start to do the work, and they own the fact that they are now in business for themselves. This is not I have this really great idea. It's going to turn into $1 million idea tomorrow. Let me just release it. Business is, for most of us, not a snap of the finger, right? And I am able to move super fast with this business coaching and get a lot of things off the ground really quickly, but that's because I have experience. I have time that I have learned what it is I need to figure out, and I am happy to learn from my mistakes and keep moving. So the 3 things you can't get around is figuring it out. You have to figure it out. There is no just you came up with the perfect idea, you put it to market, and it was just like instantly perfect. And for this, I love the company 409. For any of you who've never heard that story, Formula 409 is literally their 409th attempt at making that product. So they failed. They were figuring it out 408 other times. How many of you are willing to do that type of marathon? Now, granted, you could say, okay, well, they were just mixing some chemicals and trying to fight grease or whatever 409 is for, right? And maybe they could just tweak some things. So, going from 1 to 5 wasn't really that big of a deal. But 408 attempts, and they kept to it until they had Formula 409. And you guys probably all have Formula 409 in your house, right? So they took the time to figure it out because they understood that they were building a business that was going to last. That's the thing with newbies. You want it to last, but starting from day one. And I want you to build something of quality, of value that people are going to enjoy and love and get a result from you and your business, right? So figuring out you can't avoid, learning from mistakes you cannot avoid, and ultimately growing. You just learning how to get back up after formula number 127, after formula number 289, after formula number 355. Those guys kept going, and you have to do the same thing. So you have to do that. You have to recognize that your business is a marathon. We're not going to just wake up one day and everything be perfect and everything work out and there will not be kinks. I am running a group program, and literally I don't know if I can get it in camera, but I have this awesome microphone, you guys, so that I sound awesome for this podcast. But it's so powerful that it was like doing crazy stuff to my videos, and then my client, my coaching group, they couldn't even hear the audio in the video because what I was recording was way too powerful for all the methods that I use to upload, download, and get the videos to them. So I had to learn, and I just told them up front, hey, I have a technical problem. Let's make some adjustments. We're going to do a live class. And we just had to roll. I'm not going to be embarrassed. They still got the information. We actually have one of our best sessions, just being a lot more casual. So I am growing in that area. I do still make mistakes. Everybody does. And that's okay. That's okay. So over time, your business will become easier for you. But now just recognize and accept that you are going through a learning curve. You have some things that you have to figure out. You're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. But ultimately, you're going to keep growing because you're on a marathon. So welcome. Welcome to the race. This is not a sprint, you guys. This is your business. This is going to be your livelihood. This is what's going to support you. This is going to be a part of your legacy. Okay. So I want you, if you are in a situation where you are learning and you have mentors who are doing things at these super fast rates, I just want you to give yourself grace and know that eventually that will be you. But for now, you're going to take your time. You're going to pace yourself. You're going to be here for the marathon. You're going to reach your number 409, whatever that looks like for your business. And you will find the success because you're going to stick to it. You're going to know that this journey is absolutely worth it. And your ideas aren't a fail if you're just at number 200, right? There's still possibility. There's still hope. And I'm sure along the way, those guys discovered solutions for so many other things, just not what they were aiming for. Did they bottle those things and sell it? Probably, maybe. But I know for sure they did not give up until they reached the formula that they were aiming for. And that's going to be the same for you and your business. It will grow. It will change over time, but you will reach the potential. You will reach the success that you are looking for. Thank you guys so much for joining me for Win the Day. I'm with you guys live on Facebook, 10 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, Eastern Standard Time. So Tuesday, Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, you could join me live. The whole point of joining live is so that if you have questions or you want to make comments, please feel free to do that and to add how you feel and how you're processing our topic of the day. If you're joining me on YouTube, you can absolutely add your comments. And podcasters, thank you so much for listening. If your platform allows the comments, please do leave them. And I will be with you guys next week. Have a great day. Bye.